This week on the Push for Legs podcast, it is the Pulley Awards. And 3, 2, 1. The COVID has finally got me.
Hey guys, welcome to the Push for Legs podcast with myself, Damik.
And me, Tom Hall. Happy New Year and Merry Christmas to everybody.
Yeah, all that jazz. We missed out on quite a few little podcasts there, didn't we, over the festive period?
Yeah, I know. We normally have a bit of fun with these, but unfortunately, Dan, until yesterday, day before, I don't know, weekend, only just got his internet, and I think he went a bit quiet, and which is fair enough because he was struggling with his his poverty internet. So for a while. But we'll let him off. Yeah. We'll let him off.
It's been
not like anybody was out doing lots of stuff anyway over Christmas, weren't they? So they didn't have time to listen to podcasts.
Well, that's it. Exactly that. You know, it's people were out getting COVID by the sounds of it. We should just have a COVID party. You know how like kids used to have chicken pox parties where like one kid gets it, so they all just want to get it. Sounds like London was just that for COVID. So
essentially, but ironically, I didn't get it until I can't say it came back to London, but I definitely picked it up in Essex. So yeah, actually London was safer, or it just highlights the fact that I don't do anything in London, and I was living my life normally anyway. So I was being relatively cautious, and then unfortunately, I have an idiot of a brother-in-law. He won't listen to this. Who decided to turn up a little bit sick, and then got progressively sicker. And then tested positive on Boxing Day. So, and me being me, obviously I sat next to him on the Christmas dinner table, didn't I? So,
as you would.
Yeah.
As you would, mate.
As the nice brother-in-law I am, bought him a nice present, and he got me COVID. So, yeah, lovely. Lovely jubbly. But, yeah, so I obviously acted like I was positive since Boxing Day, even though I was testing negative. 8th day in. I tested positive. So I know I was only still testing because I've got no symptoms essentially, apart from like this heavy chest and an upper back that's really sore. But I put it down to training like for the first 3 days because I went and actually trained myself. But I was like, I literally did like 4 sets of pull-ups. Like that was the only thing that would hit in my upper back, apart from speed trap bar deadlifts. But I'm like, but even that, it wasn't heavy. Like 150s, 160s, something like that. And yeah, bonkers, Daniel. It's a weird symptom, isn't it? Because you said you had lower back.
I had a bad lower back. Mine was bad. Like it was really to the point where I like really struggling to sleep. And I thought to myself, it's because I'm just sitting down all day. And I was like, I just got real tight and bad posture. And then I spoke to a few people since, and they're like, no, it's like a legit thing. Like with COVID that you've got bad back. So how weird is that though? Of a symptom?
So it's so weird. Like it's almost like, obviously I know the mechanics of like my rib cage and stuff and how it goes around like my T-spine, and it is those vessels and those bits of my spine that's all kind of
vessels,
all the things of my back that I know I can like. So I'm sitting there going, oh, this is the perfect time to do my controlled articular rotations for 30 minutes a day. I'm not doing that, don't worry. But I was like, I'll do these. And then literally nothing has happened. Like it's the same feeling, and I've had it. And then I was like, I also went to the golf range like twice in 3 days. And I was like, because I've got a wild life, obviously. And then and then nothing happened there. How sad am I that I booked the golf range for 2 hours just because I want to take my time and like chill out and throw a few balls down, play around, have a little coffee.
Really not that sad. It's really not that sad.
It's quite nice. It's good. It's a good time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gone are the days where you're like in and out of the gym as quick as possible. Correct.
100%. 100%.
I do every now and again. I do like those slow, methodical sessions. I did have a couple over Christmas where I'm just like, I take my time, went to the sauna, but that's only because I had nothing else to do that day, and I made a purpose of it. So
That's it, isn't it? It's when you've got nothing else to do and you can do that. Like, I think they're the times I do enjoy the gym. If it's like I've slotted it into my day and I've got to get in and I've got to get out, I just do it. You have to, but it's definitely for us now, I guess a change in priorities slightly. I think that's the way I would term it in terms of the gym and what we get out of it now. Like, I used to get out of it a lot more enjoyment and a lot more focus and all that sort of stuff. Whereas now I do it because I know I really should do it and it's good for me. And I want to look better and all that sort of stuff. I think they're all sort of the reasons you do it. But maybe it's just because for us it's just a habit now and it's ingrained, and that's all, part and parcel of doing it. Like, I wouldn't say I hate it or anything like that. Like, again, before anyone starts worrying, like, it's not about hating it. It's just like, I remember previously, if I had a week that I was planning out, my gym sessions were number one thing going in that week, like number one. And now they're not. They're like, okay, when am I going to fit them in? Yeah, they get fit in, but they get fit around. They get fit around all the other stuff first. Like, if I've got the opportunity to play golf 3 times in a week, I'm going to go play golf 3 times that week, and I'll do 2 gym sessions, and that's fine. Whereas before, it would have been like, no, I've got gym 5 times a week. I'm going. I can't not go. So it's just funny how things change, isn't it? From that point of view. I think it's really
to be young once, mate. That's the only thing.
Well, that's it, isn't it? That's it.
So yeah, apart from COVID, we've had a wonderful New Year, obviously. So I did have the option of going to see a couple of people for drinks and stuff, but because I'd been contacted, I decided not to. So I had, which was reminiscent of like the year before. I had a COVID Zoom party, which was wild. Yeah, that's quite sad. This is the only ever time this has happened. I literally spent New Year's physically by myself. How weird was that?
Oh, really?
It was really strange. Yeah. It was really, really, because because I was with my parents, obviously, when we kind of all caught and all the family, but I decided to like run away from, just in case I was the carrier or something like that. And maybe they didn't want them to get exposed. So I did the right thing and ran away, knowing my flat was empty. So I went there and just dillied around, and then obviously caught it. So wonderful. Spent it by myself. Quite sad. Obviously, I was speaking to my girlfriend and my family and stuff at the same as the clock struck midnight. But yeah,
you did have someone to speak to. Then that's not the end of the world.
Yeah, I wasn't just crying. But yeah, it was slightly depressing. It was just like, this is a bit weird. But I was just like, I guess I go to bed.
Well, that's it, isn't it? It's one of those where like you just end up being like, right, I'm just going to bed then. Like, there's no point.
And I was just like, I'm going to go to range in the morning, so I can't really do anything else. I'm going to go. I'll have a nice breakfast, and then I'll go to the range.
Yeah.
So
it's just, I think it's one of those things where it's a bit overrated. That whole thing, that goes on.
Oh, New Year's is the most overrated time of the year, no matter what. Christmas, love Christmas. Happy about that. All the lead up to it, all the kind of everything looks quite pretty. New Year's, it's just like a shit party followed by even for me now, an even more depressing start of the year. So
for you, right?
Officially, I'm not meant to get out of isolation by the 13th is my official release day. So yeah. But obviously, if I test negative, on day 6 and 7, which is Saturday and Sunday, I will be allowed out on the Sunday. So
I'm so annoyed they introduced that rule recently, because I was like that. I had a few lateral flow tests, and I was in the office, and I was like, by day 7, I was negative, and I rang them, and they were like, "No, you've got to stay where you are." I was like, brilliant. So,
now they've realised
they've obviously changed rules just so they get more people out and about, and
correct, yeah,
because obviously it's working, people aren't working.
Because it's milder as well, and you tend to, because the lateral flow is about being infectious, isn't it? So I'll stop being infectious, hopefully. But it doesn't bode well, because my mum's on day 6 and she still tested positive. So one would assume I've got the same strand as her. Yeah. Oh well.
You probably be anyway. You'll probably be weaker than her as well, so you might be
correct. Yeah, that's true. But anyway, we have to do our yearly tradition. I believe this will be, if my math serves me correctly, the 6th time we've done a Pulley Awards, the 6th annual Pulley Award. We've been going for 6 years now. We're almost on our 300th episode. How many podcasts do you think you've done in total as well?
I don't think.
It's bonkers, isn't it? Because
obviously 300.
You had
300
your
with push-pull legs, and then there was also, I think I've done a few others, but I don't think it would be push-pull legs would be the most. It might be 400 maybe total.
Yeah.
But 300 of them would be like me and you. Yeah.
Yeah. In terms of other ones, I've only guessed it on a few, and obviously we've got the PTC one, but we only started that back up this year, so like half a year of them, and then sometimes I couldn't be bothered with the nutrition one, so Luke did that by himself. I still don't understand. I still don't get. I haven't listened to one of just the Luke only ones, but I don't know whether I'd like a podcast by myself. I wouldn't be able to do it. It's a bit preachy.
I think you have to have someone to bounce off, don't you? I think. I don't know.
That's what I think.
You don't. Maybe you don't. But I just
we can do that as well. I'm going to put. We can put that in here because of all lockdown and stuff. Podcast of the year. You've been listening to podcasts lately, haven't you?
Oh, that's gone on the back burner.
Obviously. Okay, but you have listened to some this year. So remember, the whole of 2021. That is, if anybody hasn't listened to Pulleys before, go back and listen to them. They're usually on the 50 of the episode order, but apparently for the last 2 years, because of COVID, fucked us up basically. It was 252, and this year I believe is 297. So we haven't quite reached that episode 300. We will be there, don't worry. It means we have to filter in because we got ahead of ourselves during the first bit of lockdown, because we did a couple of weeks where we were like, yes, do 2 a week. Yeah, it was really cool. Oh shit, this is happening for a long time. Let's go back to normal. We can't talk to each other that often about fitness, that is, anyway. So
let's just turn it into a golf podcast.
Yeah, we'll do the fitness golf guys. Yeah, and we were like, yeah, we're both terrible, but we can certainly swing the club fast. All right, but we'll basically the pulleys. We've got a variety of categories. They have evolved throughout the year. There's been some staples that have stayed, I think, from year one. Obviously, we take suggestions, but I only put the story up like about an hour ago. So I've only got like a couple through, but we'll use ours because it's more traditional. Obviously, if there was a crowd here, we'd take suggestions, but it is a panel of two. Myself and Dan, we make the decision. We take no other consideration. If we think it's great, then it is great. Doesn't matter if it's a popular vote that is or an unpopular opinion. If it's our opinion, it's correct. Okay, those are the rules. We will go through it, and both myself and Dan will have a nomination each, and then I guess we can decide which one gets it. I guess because we're both we can see each other's point of view, I guess.
Yeah.
As we go through this. Okay. So yeah, or if someone's not willing to give way, then we'll just do a joint one, shall we? I'm going to write them down this time, who wins each time, because I don't think I normally do that. That'll be on my notes forever. I'll be able to reference it.
There you go.
Like a good podcast.
How many notes have you got? How many notes have you got on your computer, by the way? I was just thinking then. The amount of times I write notes, oh my God, it's got to be thousands on it.
I'm actually not too bad.
The oldest one I've written. The oldest one I've written on here was the 18th of July, 2018.
July. I've got 2018, yeah. And that's on there. Does that quote? Where's all iCloud notes? Yeah, so the 14th of December 2018 is on there. So, and that is interviews. Interesting. For elite personal trainers. Obviously, I did I had to write my notes on based off presentations. If anybody wants to listen to those, I can give you a summary of some people. Heavily boring. Yeah. 7.3 pounds down in 20 weeks. Explain. Yeah, that's a one note I wrote.
There you go.
They just stated it. And I was like, oh, but how did that happen? Calorie deficit, Tom. Elite. Well done. You're great.
Yeah.
All right. Right. We'll crack it off. The first pulley of the year. We'll put that. We'll put that now. Actually, podcast of the year. The first one. It's not a big one. It's a new one, I guess, that we haven't done before. But I'm assuming, Daniel, you have listened to podcasts. Even Spotify gives you that little rundown of podcasts you have listened to throughout the year. So we can give a little.
I wouldn't listen to it on Spotify though. Apple Podcast, mate.
Are you an Apple Podcast man? See, I'm not. I'm a Spotify guy. Spotify guy. Obviously, the only way you can support the podcast on Spotify is to follow it. You have to click follow, and then apparently that does something to it. Obviously, the Apple Podcast, we've actually got a rating system. Oh, yeah, we're only about 10 minutes in. Go rate us. Jesus Christ. I feel like we've been sitting on about 150 forever. Go do that. Come back to
it. Please rate us. Please,
yeah, it'd be great. Basically, this one has always got to stay ahead of the PTC one. So that's what I want to happen. But we've got like adverts in that one and stuff. So a bit weird. Never bothered doing that on this one. Always get like offered it on Podbean. Probably should, but I always get annoyed with the advert on other podcasts.
How much money would you make though, realistically?
Oh, like nothing, basically. It would be more annoying to do anything. So
yeah.
All right. So what podcasts have you listened to this year, Daniel?
Well, the only one that I've really listened to and given some time to is Diary of a CEO, which is Stephen Bartlett, who is an interesting character. I quite like listening to he kind of talks a little bit about his background, his stories, things like that. I'm just trying to think of some of the best episodes that I've listened to. Some of them are a bit weird, and I've not been a fan of them, but some of them have been really good. And he gets some really good guests on. And there's some that I liked about it because I wasn't expecting to like the person that he was interviewing, but I did really like them. There's some that I haven't listened to it recently. Like there's one here that says Molly May. So again, that would be an interesting one because again, my initial interpretation that would be, oh my God. But again, the way he interviews people is very much like he lets them just be themselves. And it's amazing how actually they do come across sometimes. Because again, I would just think Molly May and I just have an opinion of her in my head already from Instagram, but then he actually gets it out of people. So I think the last one I listened to was Jimmy Carver, which was very, very good. Okay. He speaks to quite a few comedians actually, comedians are very intelligent. It comes with being comedic, but they have very good views on, again, business and the world and all that sort of stuff. But trying to think of the best one I listened to. Once I find it, I'll know the name of the person. But he just has a very, I think it's because Russell Kane, that was the one. The Russell Kane one was very good. Very, very good. But he just has a way of interviewing people, and the way he comes across, the way he also talks about his own business and how he's done things. He's very much no bullshit in that sense. And like, there's no real secrets. He's just worked his nuts off. And his story is very much, he was someone who, dropped out of university, had very little money, all this sort of stuff, ran away from home and just built an empire. And he's like 30, is he 30 now? And he's on Dragon's Den. He's one of the youngest Dragon's Den people ever. And I just find all the stories he comes across, everyone you speak to, all these CEOs, all these big bosses of all these people, and they just all say the same thing, which is just like, you just work hard. No one sees it, but no one wants to see it. It's like behind the scenes, they're all just doing the work, they're all doing all these things. They all have little nuggets that are helpful to a certain degree, but it's sometimes really interesting just to listen to go, actually, there's no real secret. They're just relentless. These people are just on a different level of just relentlessness. That's it. Yeah. That is all it is. And it's the same with him. It's a personality trait, I think, for these people. And that's what I liked about listening to it, is you realize it's a personality trait and it's you either got it or you haven't. And I don't think, this is what I think for people being self-employed or not, you either got it or you haven't. I don't think you can kind of dabble in either or. And I think once you've had a taste of it, you just know, I don't want to boss anymore. Or some people like having a boss and they like being told what to do. And it just fascinates me because you go really deep into the minds of these people. So if you are interested in that side of things, I would definitely give it a listen. It's quite popular. You probably would listen to it. It's quite a popular show. But that's the one for me. I think it's been, again, shock horror. We don't listen to fitness podcasts, obviously.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to go. Yours sounds very serious because I guess there's two I listen to. There's one I've listened to. But
it's also an easy listen though as well. You say that, but it's also like you have it in the car and it's quite easy to listen to. It's not like you have to really think about it. That's the other thing I like about it. So,
fair. But yeah, there's obviously I listened to an NFL podcast that I've been listening to for like 8 to 10 years. But no,
you never mentioned
it. But the one I've gotten into this year has been Off Menu with James Acaster and Ed Gamble. It's won loads of like awards, and it is basically they just get people on. Like random celebrities, and they like Ed Sheeran's done it, Michelle Keegan, Jack D, Jamie Oliver, Ainsley Harriott, Bob Mortimer, Simon Amstel, Emily Atack, all these people, and they just go through the ideal restaurant. So they discuss their ideal menu. It's going from like water, bread or poppadoms, starter, main, dessert, drink of choice, and that. And yeah, they talk about that, and then possibly stuff they've
very
had
niche, isn't it?
before. It's really, is that niche? It's because it's like it's a topic we would get into if we could do an off menu. I feel like we'll do this maybe next week or something like that. The push pull legs off menu podcast, because we would both had some serious. It'll be like real chat about it, like the finer details of certain things and what you're trying to do. So they've just done like their best of stuff. So I'd urge you to go listen to maybe somebody you find interested, Dan, and then go listen to them, like Timothy Spall. So they're like a good hour 15 long. And they obviously don't just talk about that stuff. And obviously I find James Acaster fucking hilarious. So it's the big comedy podcast. So yeah, we'll give it
I think he's the guy I'm thinking of.
Oh,
yeah, he is the guy I'm thinking of. Yeah,
yeah, but yeah, we'll do a split there: comedy and business. Podcast here. Go listen to those. Fortunately, Off Menu are doing pretty well, so they probably don't need your money. And Diary CEO is probably doing very well. But Off Menu, they've done like live ones in like the festival hall and stuff like that. So that'd be pretty cool. That's where we want to get to. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah, that's where we need to get to.
All right. So standard ones now, Daniel. Best exercise that you've programmed or done yourself this year?
I think my clients will disagree with me entirely on this, but I've just found a love again for giving clients a goblet squat. Just found a love for it. I just don't know what it is. Just I think that and pull-ups as well. I've just gone back to. I just think there's just a great staple exercise that just gets forgotten about and just not really talked about much. They're the two, I think, for me that I've been. Some of my clients are hating me for the goblet squats at the moment, but I just think they're a very humbling movement, you know. And people, I just like it. I don't know. It's just
so humbling. Yeah. I think it's sort of. Yeah, I think we're going to win with that one. I think I'm going to agree with you on the goblet squat because I have programmed them a lot and I've loaded the fuck out of them a lot, and I've done a lot of testing with them over this year as well. Because it's just in my opinion, the most foundational like lower body movement we're doing. It's like thoracic control, that kind of business. It looks pretty good when people do it as well. Like it doesn't look like a sack of shit. Like usually when people back squat test. So I've pull-ups as well. It's quite funny because obviously I passed on a few of my clients who have been trained this week to a couple of trainers, and then I sent the program over to one of the coaches. I was like, you probably won't get through that, and he also hadn't trained for 3 weeks. So if he doesn't want to do that, then literally goblet squats and pull-ups, then just have a chat. As literally the program, and you just nailed it. So yeah, goblet squat, pull-ups.
Yeah,
so I'll concur there. The goblet squat.
I think sometimes I see, I don't know if it's in fitness, but it's just gone a bit more like you see some people being very specific and very detailed and very, you know, all this sort of stuff about the minutiae of things. And I don't know, the physics comes in, the moment arms and lever arms. And sometimes I'm just a bit like, what's wrong with the pull-up though?
Yeah,
I get what you're trying to do, but
it's still one of my bugbears. I get female bodybuilders, male bodybuilders in this category as well, when they're doing lat pull downs and that kind of motion with the cuffs and stuff. I get that you're trying to build it most efficiently, and I'm like, can you do a pull up? If the answer is no, then as far as I'm concerned, there's no business here. It's like I spoke to Chris Toombs last week, I think, for the PTC podcast, and he was like, yeah, the prerequisite for being even looking at velocity-based training is be strong as fuck. He was like, yep, be strong. Don't be a dickhead. I was like, you have to be strong before you even look at this advanced technique. And I think that should be the same for all that cuff crap. Yeah, it has a place, but yeah, it's like get strong at these things, and then you're allowed to like change and manipulate. Okay.
Yeah, like you said, it does have a place. It does have a place for certain people.
It has a place.
People have just forgotten that. Hey, pull-ups are still a good movement.
It's just there's other stuff that will get you there quicker. Like that's what I don't get. Get you to your desired goal quicker. Like whether it be aesthetics or whatever. I'm guaranteed. I just don't get it. All right. followed by the worst exercise. This one's.
Can we say burpees again, or is that they holding the title for the last 5 years? Or
the burpees? Oh, who was sending me this actually? Because it might take the title. It is somebody who was a former client of you, and so he's been talking about fitness testing, and I'll show it to the screen here. Oh, I don't think I have. A few moments later. I'll come back to it. Is a burpee in a fitness test? Would you put it as a fitness test? No.
No.
Just max burpees for a minute or whatever. Like they look crap after 4 anyway. So you can only ever do 4 good ones.
They just look crap anyway.
Yeah, I've seen. Well, I don't know. Literally, we could do worst exercise burpee, or we could just scroll through Joel Seedman's things.
I think actually, yeah, Joel Seedman deserves a mention, doesn't he?
Let's go for the most. I think the stupidest one. There's plenty of them, right? But just from the weird point of view, having the safety bar in the rack and then like pushing it away and pulling it and stuff like that. Basically, ruining the bar, ruining the rack. And then like do you understand like forces that's doing nothing? There's nothing there that's happening really. Yeah. Like
pointless.
But
it's because he loads it up so heavy it looks impressive, and it's like, no, mate, it's not.
Oh, did you see? Oh, you've unfollowed him, didn't you? He like tagged Eddie Hall in, and he did a single arm lockout lift. And he was like, Eddie Hall, I beat your relative strength world record for a single arm lockout. And he was like, this is why it's
Eddie
more
Hall
impressive.
Just laugh at him.
This is why it's more impressive than Eddie Hall's, because it's heavier relative to my body weight. And it's just like, oh God. But was this the year that he did the run? Or was that last year?
Yeah, the running. Do you remember the sprinting?
The sprinting, max velocity sprinting, or whatever it was. Yeah. I'm going to put Joel Seedman in there, I think, as worst exercises.
Just his name in general. How has he got 400,000 followers now?
Oh, mate, he's a millionaire. Like, he doesn't care. Like, he's cracking on. I mean, go. That's the thing. Sells millions of programs. I think by the level of people who like and do his stuff. He's almost like I don't know, who's that lad? Naudi. Haven't seen much from Naudi Aguilar for a while. What
about this woman doing the old partial squats, but like partial squats? What's that all about?
That one's That's almost like the rack pull kind of conversation, isn't it? The lockout.
Yeah, but even less so. This is literally your. Oh, I don't even want to. There's nothing there. She's starting at above quarter range and going up.
All right, the partials lockout.
Mr. Partial, let's call him. He's a fucking moron.
All right, we'll give that. Just look at his feed. Those are the worst exercises of the year.
I think, by the way, so basically what we should say from now on all the pulleys is that burpees are not included because they're not an exercise.
We can get to. It's almost like the World Cup, right? So if you win it 5 times, that trophy gets retired. So burpees, I'm pretty sure, have probably won it 5 times. So that they have been retired from that category because you've got to let other people have a chance, right? It's when you score a 50 in last man stands or whatever it is. You have to retire to let somebody else have a go.
That's it. Yeah,
exactly. So that is burpees. All right. I'll put a note there. Burpees have been retired. All right. Worst fad.
Worst fad.
So interesting. I did take a couple of screenshots here, Dan, the other day. But it hasn't been a lot of, I don't know, there's been fads. Obviously, the Google terms of hula hooping was quite high.
I think the resurgence of the Noom products for me.
I've seen those, but they've obviously chucked a load of money for now, right? When people were trying to count calories.
They've had a lot of money thrown at them. They've had a lot of money thrown at them. I don't know how or where they've got it from, but
so obviously I don't subscribe to this, but I always have a look at the titles on my Apple feed or whatever. So fitness trends to make a difference: reverse running, pickleball, and hula hoops. Reverse running. And then there was inside the world's most expensive fitness centers. Unfortunately, I don't have subscriptions to Men's Health. So if anybody does, it was 20 grand to join. But I don't know what that lad's doing.
Oh my God. Like he's in a fucking like simulator for space, isn't it?
Yeah, it does is he just going to be
like an anti-gravity thing? It looks like.
I don't know what's going to happen there. We'll try and zoom in on the mirror. It's got it's got an icon of a centaur, I believe that is. Man and beast. I'm not too sure what it does. So BFMC is the brand. Biomechanics Motor Control. That's insane. But not that I've seen it, but hula hooping's a weird one that was high on the Google Trends. Has there been any dieting fads this year?
I mean, of course there has, but whether I remember them or take any notice of something else, entirely. Not that I can think. Like I said, the Noom one's the only one that I've seen a fair bit of. But again, it's just really stupid old science that just doesn't help anyone in any way, shape, or form. The whole like hack your metabolism thing, and it's that's what they, that's what their tagline is, hack your metabolism. And again, you understand if you're burning carbs and fats, it's just fucking bullshit. It's like, go eat loads of carbs and then breathe into a tube, and it's going to tell you that you're burning carbs. Of course it is, because you're just eating those.
So I've gone on People magazine, I think, or something like that. So the biggest fads, 9 fads we couldn't get enough of in 2021. Hot chocolate bombs. That's not a fad. That's great. Canned wine.
Never seen that.
Frivolous live. That's just like camping outside, apparently. Skirts for men.
No. You could definitely get enough of that.
Apparently because Pete Davidson was wearing them. Okay. A silicone bubble pop. Apparently that's like a fidget toy. I don't know what it is. Tranquil green paint. This list is awful. Mac and cheese ice cream. Right. No. Mac and cheese is incredibly overrated, just by unpopular opinion here, I'm sure, but mac and cheese is not great.
I've never ever had a good mac and cheese. No, and I've never had the desire to ever have it. I don't get it.
You get excited by it. It needs to have some like crust. It's just sloppy pasta, and it's bad pasta, and the cheese is bad. So
it's never cheesy. It's never cheesy enough.
Never good cheese, is it? A nap dress. Dan wears lots of nap dresses.
Yeah, it's my thing.
And workations. There you go. So you go to a place to go work. Isn't that just going to work? Basically, Dan has decided to move to Dubai on his workation.
That's a workation.
Yeah. Well, those are the weirdest. That's a weird thing, but there's been. I don't know. Oh, there you go. TikTok. I don't understand it. I joined like 2 days ago because I was like, I'm going to look at what TikTok is because I don't really understand it. I'll just post everything I post on Instagram on there just to see what happens.
Just stay off it. It's easier.
It's bonkers. Don't understand it whatsoever. Nobody uses their own voice. Like, I don't understand. It's just dancing and weird stuff. And it's just full of underage girls that are doing weird shit, basically.
Yeah.
It's really weird. I don't get it at all. Really so strange. It's so odd. Yeah. TikTok is the worst fad. It's probably not a fad because it's it's obviously doing incredibly well. But I don't understand TikTok. At all. All right, we'll move on. Worst fad. Give us suggestions. We'll put that up. We'll get some more. We'll answer it next week properly. All right, best social media follow that you've had this year. That does not mean the best person to follow you, Dan. The best person you have followed.
Best person I have followed. For me this year, it's been Tubes' golf channel on YouTube. That's it's so fucking good. It cracks me up all the time. You have to either like football or know who Tubes is to enjoy it, or like golf. You don't have to like golf, but you kind of have to know who Tubes is. I think for our generation, they know who Tubes is. You know, if they're into football and soccer AM, they know. It's really entertaining. I love it. That's been my best social media follow this year. Has been that YouTube channel. It's been great.
Fair. Beautiful. I guess I've got one who I will give a shout out because I just think is and it's somebody I know very personally, and who I just think as a guy who is an incredibly successful banker, but is now doing lots of fitness stuff with my protein and stuff like that, and he's just doing it for the love of it, and thus proving how much stuff you can do. He's got 2 kids, a fiance, a 6-figure banking job, and he's decided to do, he obviously got qualified through me and is now doing loads of stuff with my protein. He's relentless doing all this video stuff, and it's a lad called Aubrey, and I think it's just Aubrey PT on his Instagram, and his content is so good. He ended up being the face of my protein on their Superman campaign, and he hasn't got a lot of followers, like 1,000. I think he only just got 1,000 today, but he's relentless and he has so many other responsibilities and what he's good at. And he's just such a lovely chap. So Aubrey PT, for the person I know. And then somebody who I've taken in a lot of his stuff this year is obviously unfitness related. We've just gone unfitness related, haven't we? Is Uncle Roger. I like Nigel Newsjuge, or whatever his name is. I watched a lot of his. I feel like it's what have you done for me lately, but I've watched a lot of his videos over the last week or so. But do you like Uncle Roger?
Don't follow him.
You know, you'd enjoy him. I think he is funny. He just abuses Jamie Oliver basically. And that's always funny. Basically, he made a channel, got like 4 million subscribers now on YouTube, through berating people's egg fried rice and how they've done it. So I think he did one from BBC Food and it's got like nearly 16 million views now. And then he went and actually met the person and ended up on TV with her. And then he's got a whole separate thing just for Jamie Oliver reviews. And then he does loads of stuff. He does one every week. So then he goes and he's just rude. He's also a comedian in this country. So he is funny. Dan can watch his videos later. He is funny. Just go watch the Jamie Oliver.
Uncle Roger. I've got on here. Uncle Roger. Nigella Lawson making ramen.
That kind of stuff. Yeah, he's so funny. They're only like 10 minutes long, but they're funny. All right, who should we give that to? I think the Tube swings. We'll give it to the real person. We'll give it to Aubrey because he's the one who's putting the most effort in. He's not getting paid for it. Good lad. Also a lovely lad. Yeah, Aubrey, lovely. What's bad? We don't know. Worst social media follow. Who did you unfollow this year? Is probably better.
I can't remember, to be honest, because obviously
I know you unfollowed Joel Seaman, and I'm disappointed about that. And
I don't think I have. I haven't. I don't think I have.
I think you said you made a point, and you said you would. Obviously, I can't look back to who I've unfollowed.
No, still following. Still following him. Still following him. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. Still following him. Don't you worry about that. Still got his stuff all over the place. He's just an idiot. I can't remember who I've unfollowed. It wouldn't have been for like any other reason than probably making me feel bad or something like that. Yeah, just because it's a weird one because it has to be someone who's constantly posting. Otherwise, again, you wouldn't see their stuff.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it?
Right, but I can't remember.
There's not many people that have annoyed me. Obviously Seaman's one, but I don't know. I got trolled a bit for some PTC stuff, which was funny. But that was we did do a show about that because that happened like kind of in the break. But that was quite funny. I think I won. I hit this poor physio chap. So you remember what's the theory when you come out of like you're doing your qualification, so you think you know lots of stuff, and then you're like, shit, I don't know anything, and then you're like, oh, you level out. What's that theory?
Dunning-Kruger.
Yeah, Dunning-Kruger effect. Basically, that lad who I had an argument was a physiotherapy student, so right in the realms of I know fucking everything. Yeah, and then tagged a load of people who are physios who did literally said nothing in this loads of stuff. We were arguing about screening systems. Yeah, and he basically said everything I'd said was wrong, apparently. And and I was like,
that's never going well, was it?
Unfortunately, I'd written so many probable and possibly in my statements because I know about that shit. Yeah, and I always write an escape. So yeah, unfortunately, I was like, probable strengthening exercises for this. You can possibly do this mobility exercise. It may work, and all those kind of caveats, caveat scripting, caveat stuff like that, which you have to write as an educator. Otherwise, you get fucked. And that person was like, "Oh, this is all wrong. You said that the lumbar spine will curve." I was like, "No, I said it possibly may do that. Doesn't mean it was bad." Yeah, very crazy. But yeah, that's my obviously blocked it. That's what the block is for.
Far easier doing that.
I was just like, yeah, it's just like, oh, but you're not talking to the person who's opposing views. I was like, yeah, I talked to him for 30 comments and I laid out a perfectly nice argument, and then he still didn't want to. And I was like, crack on. Anyway, worst social media unfollow. Joel Seaman, but keep following him because it's fucking ridiculous. All right. Best. All right, we can go into confections now, stuff like that. Because obviously you're in Dubai. Have you found a good coffee place yet?
No,
brilliant.
I haven't been to find. I found a few places that do good that apparently do good coffee, but I don't have my machine and all my equipment here, so I've not bought any beans and stuff like that. So I haven't had time really to just go there for a coffee. Do you know what I mean? I've only recently got a car. Only last week got a car, so I haven't not been top of my priority list to go and drive around and find places. But I will go the weekend.
How is your gold-plated Lamborghini Aventador?
Oh, it's amazing. It's masquerading as a white Mazda at the moment. But yeah, it's four wheels, mate, and it gets you around. That's all you need. That's all that matters. That's all that matters here. But yeah, it's funny going to school and seeing people just drive up in their Ferraris to drop their kids off at school. I'm just like, did you really need to bring that car? You could have brought the other one. So good news was though that I went to fill up the tank today. Full tank of petrol was 25 quid.
Jesus, I filled up my Mini. Like obviously I've just got a Mini Cooper Sport, and I filled that up to the top, and it cost me nearly 60 quid. Yeah. There you go. That's
I probably got a bigger tank than that, and it was 25. Yeah. So.
Jesus, that's crazy. All right, best coffee joint or best coffee that you bought over the year? I don't know.
Well, I lived next to one, didn't I? Didn't I? So I can't really put forward a nomination. Yeah.
So
hands down,
like the one that obviously I've had more frequently since I've moved to Maida Vale. Has been Gales. Gales has been a good coffee, if I'm honest. It has been nice. That's the biggest change this year. There hasn't been anything that's. I'm happy to go with Kelowna and Smalls because I know it. Have I had it this year though? I've been to yours. I think I've been to yours.
We went, did we? I don't think we went for coffee. Yeah.
Did we not?
No.
We went into town, didn't we? No, I didn't. I don't think I had it. So therefore, can I say I had it? I can't. It's got to be a joint. Kelowna Smalls and Gales. There you go. Gales is good coffee in London. It's a bit premium in terms of a bakery. You'll find it generally west, I believe. But it's nice. It's good stuff. If you're going to go in there, get some baked good. So get a baked
Yeah,
good.
you
It's
don't
kind
get
of
something
like
else.
a Jewish version of what's the other place we like with the cinnamon social? Lagerhusen.
Olenstein.
Olienstein. There you go.
Olenstein.
Olienstein. Yeah, there you go. Basically, that kind of version. All right. Best TV series. We definitely have watched some TV series this year.
Mine is we've watched. I've loved this Suits.
Suits.
Old
and
one. It's an old one.
Yeah,
but...
just for people who don't realize that this does not mean the best series that came out this year. This is the best series we watched this year. So it doesn't. So we could have 100%. Watched. For example, I've been watching Seinfeld. I know it hasn't come out this year, but it's been quite funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually got into it. I don't know. I'd never watched it, so I was just like, "That's something to watch." It's pretty easy to watch, like watching Friends. I wouldn't say it's the best thing I've watched though. Guilty pleasure, Below Deck, obviously. It's ridiculous. It's awful. It can't be the best thing I've watched. Suits. I never got into Suits. It's just the one with Meghan Markle, right?
Yeah.
She's still in it in that one.
No, they kind of. I watched it and the ending was really cut short. It felt like the whole thing was cut short. And obviously Meghan Markle leaves for the last season because that's when she obviously met Harry, I think. And she's in it for like 7 seasons. Then there's a season she's not in it, and then the season after that they kind of cut really short. And I was like, it was really weird because she was nowhere a main character in it. Like the thing could have run without her perfectly fine. Like she wasn't the main character. But yeah, we got really into it and really enjoyed it. With it, the whole, I don't know if it's just like different lifestyle, different like thing. I don't know. We just got into it, but really, really good. Tell you what really wasn't great was I didn't get the whole hype with Squid Games at all. Did not get the hype with that. I watched it, but I was like, it's just a bit gory. That's why it's shocking. Maybe. But it wasn't really like a compelling. I don't know. Like you knew who was going to win. Like you just watching it, you just like knew who was going to like be at the end because the way they obviously run it. And then obviously it was a bit of a shock at the end of it if you haven't watched it. It was a bit of a thing. But then again, it was like 10 minutes. You watched the whole thing to then the last 10 minutes to find out that the secret bit, and it was like, oh, is that it?
Yeah.
Great. I don't know.
Yeah, it was a bit. I liked it, but I don't think it should have been. It was just a weird phenomenon that everybody latched onto it at the same time, right?
It was because it was so random, wasn't it? That's probably what it was.
Yeah, so out there.
Yeah,
it's a weird one. So you're going Suits. I don't know what I'd go for actually. I don't know what else I've watched. I definitely have watched stuff, but there's nothing that like is like. Boom,
Suits is the one that sticks in my mind. That's why. Like, we have just finished watching, to be fair. But again, Squid Games, like I've watched, but I just didn't get it. I didn't really get the hype with it. And
the one thing I did binge watch, and we caught up all 5 seasons, was The Resident, which is just a hospital drama, and everything. It is so like over dramatic. Everything fucking goes wrong. Like to these people, like it's crazy. Like this woman gets stabbed, she gets like run over, all in the same like few years. I was like, Jesus, this is bad, isn't it? Crazy. All right, we'll split that into The Resident and Suits. We'll decide who wins. We don't know. Suits, Resident. I'm not going to argue about that, Daniel. It's hard to make a compelling one when we both watched random ones. We can't say Squid Games because it's not been as good as clearly the other ones. All right. Best. I guess we have to put these together because they might be conjoined. Best lockdown delivery / burger.
You see, in Bath, they didn't really do a lot of good deliveries. So I can't really. You're going to have to pick that because they just didn't. I mean, 5 Guys delivered and that was it. And it's like, so for me, that's a winner. But we've had.
This is where I have to go on my delivery. So you speak away then.
In Dubai, they do have Shake Shack though, which is good. So that's enjoyable. That has to be said that is enjoyable. Shake Shack is a nice burger, especially for like a bigger, chain kind of thing. I think that's definitely one of the better ones.
I've had over here. I've scrolled all the way back to the January 2021 to look at all of my orders. I've ordered quite a lot, clearly. If you didn't know, if you have Amazon Prime, you get Deliveroo Plus for free. So
yes, I saw that.
Subscribe to that. You have to do it. Yeah, a lot of people don't know that, but you get it gives you like delivery fees like knocked down a little bit and stuff like that. So, which obviously have gone up since COVID. I've got a few here. Burger and Chop was pretty good. That is in Hackney. I had a bit of a Oaxaca thing, clearly. Egg Slut was always good. Rice Era was really cool. That's in London. Reuben's always amazing. What else was good? One of the worst one I had was Basaba, because they served me a curry that had broken plastic in it, really fine little bits of plastic. And then I complained. I got obviously refunded, but nobody from the restaurant contacted me. But Deliveroo did. Like loads of Deliveroo people contacted me. It was like, we're chasing this up, but nobody from the restaurant. Yeah, bad, right?
How weird.
Staples, I always deliver from Pho and Rose's Thai Cafe. Those all the time. But since I'm going to give it to a place that I've ordered to 3 times, I think, in the last month. You can tell Chloe's been away. Is a place called Itaewon Burger and Chicken. It's basically, if you get the chance to actually go to, I think it's Bone Daddy's, or you go to, what's the other one? But anyway, this is Korean fried chicken. So good. If anybody knows, it is good. It is so good. What is the Korean fried chicken place that I went to the other day? Open Table. I'll look at my Open Table thing.
You're asking me like I was there with you, Tom.
I mean, Flesh and Buns. There you go. I'm going to give it to Flesh and Buns because that's the best meal. I feel I've had better meals, I think, but that's the most enjoyable, the most frequented back to restaurant. I think I went 3 times this year. That's in person. But if they would deliver, I would have them. So I'm looking for the same thing. So Flesh and Buns, go to there. They've got 3 joints, I think, and then Bone Daddy's is also a thing. So I'm going to give it to them. They are the best Flesh and Buns. Always good. Basically, it is like I think it's Japanese food actually, but you'd really enjoy it, mate. I think I'll bring you some when I come to Dubai.
I'd say bring it up, mate.
Not too sure that will go down well. All right, best snack food. So I've changed this because previously we had best cereal. And I feel like neither of us have had cereal very much over the last year. It blows hot and cold, doesn't it? And
it does. Well, it may change because now over here we do have a bit better selection of cereal over here. Like it does seem to be a little bit more available in terms of the range of stuff. So I'm gonna have a little sneaky look and see if I can get hold of some stuff. Best snack. I'll tell you what I've really enjoyed over the last year. Went for a real big phase of it that we actually ended up stopped getting them because we had them that much. When you have it too much. Moon was like the Little Moons.
Yeah, no, we had them as well. Yeah.
We went for a phase of them, and I was like, "Wow, these are good." I think Little Moons for me is the best. I mean, it's a snack. I mean, it's an ice cream in it, but it's a snack.
It's a nice little snack. It's a nice little finisher for the meal, isn't it? Like little boom.
Yeah.
They're a weird one because we were going to Selfridges, going to the food hall, and we walked part like there, and then there was a massive, humongous queue to be like, what are they queuing for? They were queuing for Little Moons. Huge queue, like 100 people deep for Little Moons. And we were like, we walked up to the guy that was like at the top, he was like, it's madness. Like, yeah, they're here for the Little Moons. Apparently they'd gone crazy on like TikTok. It was all these young people, they'd gone crazy on TikTok. And I was like, you can buy them in packets in Waitrose, right? Like, you don't have to get them at this store. I was there's a Waitrose over there in John Lewis. Like, 2 blocks away.
No.
It's been crazy. I was just like, what the hell? Didn't understand it. But Little Moons, I'll give you that. I'll give you Little Moons. We've eaten them as well. We can have that as a correlation. Because they're an okay little dieting sweet as well, right? Because they're not too high calories. Yeah. So about 80, 70, 80.
And you only need 2 to just satisfy it and you're good.
And yeah, so I used to hate them. Used to really hate them, but then I've grown to like it. So. Right. Best. These 2 are probably the big ones now, right, mate? Best diet drink of the year.
Over here,
most frequently had.
By the way, over here, really? There's hardly any. Yeah, they're really not very good over here, which is annoying. But in the UK, I can't really remember anything that stuck out that's not already been talked about before.
Yeah, but that's not the point, mate. That's over the year. What is the one you're either your staple that you kept on reaching for, or it could be anything, right? Because
Pepsi Max Cherry is the one, isn't it? You just keep going back to it like all the time. Fanta, I'll behave. That's a poor choice,
mate. Are you joking? It's just like
so
good, so versatile as well. Because you're gonna hate me for this. I'm sure I'm gonna get a lot of hate. I will quite happily have a half orange juice and then half Fanta in a glass and have that in the morning because it's nice and bubbly and it's my orange juice and lovely.
Just no.
Lovely.
Just no with that. No.
You've never tried it, mate, so don't knock it.
I'm not going to either, don't you worry.
So Fanta is and you're going Diet Coke Cherry?
Pepsi Max Cherry.
Pepsi Max Cherry. Why Pepsi? What the fuck?
It's better than Coke.
It's not better than Coke.
It is.
It's not.
Pepsi Max Cherry is better than Cherry Coke. It is better.
Pepsi is not better than Coke. How dare you? How
Just
dare
as it is, mate.
I thought you bought Diet Cokes.
Yeah, I like Diet Coke, but again, here, like, no, back home it was always Pepsi Max, always.
Was it?
Over Cokes, always, yeah.
I've given you too much respect for all these years.
Even here, I buy Diet Pepsi instead of Diet Coke.
Why have I not noticed that? Been to your house many times. Yeah. I've known.
Yeah, because at my house, I never buy Diet Coke. That's why, mate. I don't buy the plain silver Diet Coke ever.
Diet Pepsi. Yeah, but I in my head, you have it. You have this plain silver Diet Coke, but obviously not. But in my head, I can picture you holding one. But clearly, I've just my eyes have mirrored somehow. So I mean, we'll let people decide on that. Fanta, or FYI, it's Fanta Zero. Thank you. Diet drink.
Same difference.
I did get asked my opinion on that by Stephen Brito, who will listen to this, and he was like, "What's your opinion on diet drinks?" I was like, "Do you want to drink your calories or eat them? You want to eat your calories, so don't drink them. Simple. The only caloric drink I will have, obviously, is coffee, and I'm partial to in the wintertime a nice mocha. Lovely. It feels like I'm having hot chocolate, but I'm getting coffee as well. Lovely. All right, mate. Biggest award, I believe. We can do a little drum roll there. There's obviously best protein bar this year, which is going to be tough because we got to remember what we've eaten this year.
I think those what were those wafery ones?
Ooh, yeah, because you had some, didn't you?
Waha, is it Waha? Something like that. Waha? I can't remember what they're called now.
Oh,
what were they called?
They spoke to me on Instagram, didn't they? Can I scroll?
Very good.
Because the only other one that stands out in my brain is because you bought some for pleasure was the vegan bars.
Misfits, yeah.
Misfits bars, yeah.
Misfits were good. has to be said. They were good. The Biscoff, the speculous, wasn't it? That's what it's called. I mean, the only thing about those ones that you tried that we had that were nice is that the protein just wasn't very high. It wasn't as high as it could have been, or was high as high as others, etc., etc. Whereas the Misfits made up for that because they were higher in protein. You see, so I think as a standard protein bar, I'm going to say Misfits. As something a bit different, those ones, I can't remember what they're called now.
They're called Wanna bars.
Wanna bars, there you go.
Wanna bars. Yeah, functional sweets. That was the most annoying thing about them. They said functional sweets or something like that. But yeah, Wanna bars. They were fun. They were good. Correct. I would concur with that. Nice Wanna bar. That was good wafer. It wasn't particularly high. It was higher in protein than a normal wafery.
Yeah, and it was just different as well. You know, it was just like it just tasted. It was a bit of a different thing. Like I hadn't had something like that before from like a protein-based snack.
Yeah, right. So lovely. The Wanna bar. Well done, guys. Good job. We'll put that. We'll post in everywhere. Yeah, I'm surprised that they haven't I don't know. I'm surprised they haven't done better. I don't know whether they're doing really well, but I have not seen them in shops and stuff. No. And I feel like they would.
I think it takes a lot. I think it takes a lot to get it in a shop, though. I think that takes a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's only like I'm sure you get all your bear bells and crap over there, right? So all the big players. That's about it. All right, mate. That is the end of the pulleys. Well done. That is basically another year, even though it is now 2022. New Year's resolutions, Dan?
None.
Obviously, my diet was going to start on Monday, but I caught COVID, so I didn't think.
Can't then? Yeah, can't.
I didn't think I could diet whilst being sick. You know, the general rule for us is just, isn't it feed a cold? Is it, or starve? Is it starve
feed a COVID? It's a feed a COVID. That's what they say.
Feed a COVID. That's pretty sure that's correct. So yeah, I've obviously eaten everything in sight. My diet start when I'm off COVID. So next week. Always starts next week, doesn't it? I did actually think of you.
All the best plans in the world, mate. All the best plans in the world are next week. mystical land of next week.
I did because there was I did see a lot of unfortunately coming up on my feed, a lot of like helping you through the Christmas time, and like it starts now, and it was like the 20th of December. Yeah, don't wait until January. Start now. Why don't you start now? Just do it. Set the ball rolling. Get these actions going, and all this horseshit. It was like, no, we lay the foundations now. I was like, no, we don't. Like life.
It's one of those. It's always those people that just don't relax. Over Christmas, they don't need to relax because they're not that busy, and all that sort of stuff. Like I think there's a bit of that, isn't there, with it? I find it funny because I think you just start to realize what people do over those time periods and stuff. And like, I talk about this a fair bit. I don't know if I've talked about it a lot recently, but I don't hate on New Year's resolutions. I don't do them. I don't think that they're beneficial. I don't think that they help in any way, shape, or form. That's just me. But I understand why people decide to make a change after Christmas and in January, because it's a natural time point where you've had time to relax, spend time with family and friends, not think about work, and then go, right, what do I actually want to achieve this year? Because usually work takes over, all the other things take over. So you don't have a clear head, you don't have a clear headspace, you need time to relax and chill out. So usually people after holidays do the same thing. After a holiday, they usually do a similar thing. They go, right, now what do I want to achieve? What do I want to do with my life? What do I want to do with that? New Year's is the same thing. It just happens that pretty much everyone has the same holiday. So everyone's doing it at the same time. And I think if you know what you want from life, you know what you're doing, you're kind of doing that every few months anyway. You don't need the new year. It just happens that one of those time points coincides with the new year. Do you know what I mean? But I think you should know your New Year's resolution before you go into Christmas. Do you know, like you should almost have an idea of what it is you want to achieve. Because it shouldn't be that different to what you were doing before. I don't know. That's the thing I always think with it. I don't think it should be anything drastic and like hugely different. It should be building on what you've already done over the last few months, stuff like that. And I think obviously you're going to see people, trainers as well. You're going to see them shitting all over New Year's resolutions. Then you're going to see the other half going, "Oh, don't worry, don't listen to the people who say it's shit. I agree with you. I think it's a good idea. I'm nonplussed either way. I literally don't care about them. I don't think it's something that people should be worried about. That's why I haven't talked about it really on like Instagram. I've made a post about it because it's just like I think you're gonna, again, it depends on what your niche is and that sort of stuff as well. But you're going to attract people that either only make a change in January or don't make a change or don't want to make a change at all. Do you know what I mean? It's like they're the two. It's like, well, no, like it's not that cut and dry. I don't know. But yeah, I haven't made any, mate, to be fair. I think with the move, it was more of a fucking get our feet on the floor and get settled in, but we weren't really worried too much about it, to be honest. But yeah.
Yeah. My never one will be...
Never have set them.
No, nor have I, to be honest. Certainly not in like January. No, not usually. It would coincide with other decisions in life. Yeah, mine will be though is to hopefully test negative for COVID. So that's my New Year's resolution. We're all hoping that will happen this month. So I'm pretty sure it's definitely one.
Imagine if you're the one person. Imagine you're the one person that just has it forever.
I just have to walk around in a hazmat suit.
Imagine.
Yeah, that'd be pretty poor. I don't think I'll be able to be a personal trainer. I can be an online coach. That'd be fun.
You could be an online coach, yeah.
Yeah, just sit here like you, living the dream in my front room. Right, mate. Thank you. I guess thanks for everybody for the whole year, even though it's a new year. But yeah, I think like next week we will do a Dan and Tom off menu, but Dan has to go away and listen to an off menu to realise what's happening. We'll give him homework. And if anybody likes that show, then we might do that with random people. Do it for fitness.
Right.
Off fitness. We'll do a fitness one. Off fitness. Off nutrition. All right, mate. Pleasure as always. I hope everybody's glad that we're back, and we will definitely catch you next week.